So welcome back / to Talking Swift. I'm Jess Rodolphe.
Rubee Royal.
And I'm Meggles. I'm back. Yay.
Yay!
So there was actually quite a bit of news this week.
Yeah, there was a lot of news.
There's a lot of news this week because we're ramping up to Tortured Poets Department, which releases in 12 days. And by the way, this is recorded April 7th, 2024.
Yeah.
Yes, there's been quite a bit of promo. To start though, it looks like there was an April Fool's joke that happened.
I can talk about this one because this is local for me. My mom sent me this because she didn't actually read it. She just saw the title. So she sent me this and she didn't realize it was an April Fool's joke. At first I was like, wait, what? Why would she go to Bellevue specifically? Because that's not like a big city that's near Seattle. It said that she was gonna stop in Bellevue in December, like on her way to the Vancouver shows. And it said that it was going to be a morning show at 9 a.m. so that everyone could wake up to Taylor Swift.
Was it someone from Taylor's team that posted this, or was it like a joke from... Okay, so it was a joke from like a news place.
It was a Bellevue paper or website or something that posted about it, that wrote this article. I think it was their joke. But as I was reading it, I kept being like, wait, that's weird. It kept getting weirder. So it was going to be at 9 a.m. It was going to be a more intimate feel because it wasn't a stadium, it's a theater. And so it was going to be a more intimate feel, and it was going to be a lottery system. And the tickets were going to be $20,000. There was going to be a cocktail hour with mimosas and Bloody Marys. And then you were also going to get to meet her cats.
I mean, sounds amazing.
I know. As I was reading it, I was like, wait, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. And I was like, wait, it's April 1st. This is a joke. Definitely. And so I told my mom that, and she was like, oh, yeah, I forgot what day it was.
Before we move off of April 1st, there is a TikToker named Mikey Angelo who, I don't know if you've seen his videos on TikTok. He does the 3 months deep into 2024. He did an April Fool's joke where he ended it with the start of April with cheating scandal for Taylor and Travis and just ended the video. And people were like, wait, what? How do you just end like that? And then people realized it's April 1st.
That came up on my feed and I was like, I panicked and started searching and I was like, what? And then I scrolled through the comments and everyone was like, I can't find any information on this. And then everyone was kind of like, oh.
I remember when you said April 1st. I was like, oh, I saw that. Let me go get it.
April Fool's jokes.
But what wasn't a joke was she won the iHeartRadio award.
So she won 6 awards.
Oh, wow.
She won Artist of the Year, Pop Artist of the Year, Tour of the Year for the Eras Tour, Best Lyrics for Is It Over Now, TikTok Bop of the Year for Cruel Summer, and Favorite Tour Style.
Is tour style the outfits? That's a weird title.
I don't know.
I have no idea what that means. That's just what the title says for the award.
She wasn't at the awards, but she did a video acceptance, and there were Swifties dissecting it, of course.
Did she win the most awards that night?
Yes.
Yeah.
She also had the most nominations with 9.
I can't believe she didn't win the biggest fan army or whatever.
Yeah.
So disappointing. Disappointing Swifties.
Well, apparently the K-pop fans win all the time, so
True.
I guess it's not that surprising.
Oh, she didn't win Song of the Year. I was wondering what category she didn't win.
So Song of the Year, Biggest Fan Army, and what was the other one?
Pop Song of the Year.
She's still cleaned up though. Entertainment Tonight. They had an interview with Travis, and it was really cute. It was asking if she influences music taste or if he influences her music taste, and how Taylor listens to music. And he talked about how they're both career driven and the support they both show for one another in that aspect. And it's been amazing getting to know her. And Kelsey Jam is a celebration happening May 18th, which he's promoting, which I don't know much about.
Yeah, I didn't know about it until this, but yeah.
This is something he does. It's kind of a little bit like Coachella. It's a music festival that him and Jason do. It's just to support like music and big acts and show off what they're listening to and what they like. They already said Taylor will not be there.
Well, she's going back on tour, so it kind of conflicts.
Was this also the interview where they asked him, does he have any of her music on his...
Yeah.
So in comparison, they asked Joe what his favorite Taylor songs were, and he said he doesn't go into that side of things, which is interesting because he could have easily said any song off of Lover or any song he helped write, but he said that instead. Travis's answer was actually, oh, her songs were already on my pump up jam. Get ready. Yeah, every game.
Yeah. Well, I think she asked specifically if it's his game day playlist, and he said, no, it's my everyday playlist.
Yeah. We love a supportive king.
Next on the news, I don't remember the date of this, but it was exactly 14 days before this album drops. I think it was a couple days ago, April 5th. Taylor Nation dropped a huge bomb, broke the internet a little bit, dropping, what was it, 5 playlists?
Yeah.
5 different playlists about, they called it the 5 stages of heartbreak, but it's the 5 stages of grief, which is what we had theorized that the Tortured Poets was going to be about. So it basically confirms all those theories. And it was a shock to see what songs, because Taylor left a message with each playlist, kind of explaining her reasoning behind why the songs are in there. And it was kind of a shock to see some of the songs that were put into certain playlists. We'll go a little bit more into depth about those when we do our Tortured Poets episodes, because we will be doing some more recent Tortured Poets stuff closer to, and of course after. Next week. And of course, once the album's out, we'll be doing another one. But we just wanted to quickly mention that because it was quite a bomb drop, and it was on Apple Music, but since then a bunch of people have recreated the playlist on other platforms, so you should be able to find the playlist on your respective platforms by now. I think there's at least one that's been recreated on every platform.
Except one was not accurate that I was following. They left out You're Losing Me.
Oh, rude. That's such a good song.
Which I realized automatically because, that's my favorite song. So I was like, wait, You're Losing Me isn't in any of these. And I know I saw it on one. So I had to go double check that. But yeah, so make sure that the one you're listening to is accurate.
And also to note, she did not include any Reputation or debut songs in them. Only songs that she owns were in these playlists.
Yeah.
Denial is making me question if I want to use Lover in my wedding now. It's the only thing I have to say on this. I'm having a crisis about this now because of that placement, but we'll go more into that next week.
I was going to say, I've seen a lot of people mention that, but I've also seen a lot of people reply with that she likes when people interpret her music differently, and you are allowed to interpret a song different than the original intention behind writing it from the artists themselves. Just because they interpret a certain way or they feel a certain way about the song doesn't mean you can't make it your own, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Art can be interpreted,
but it's in my
ways.
Head now. In my head. I can't unsee.
I know. I mean, that one line has always kind of bugged me, like in the back of my head. I'm highly suspicious that everyone who sees you wants you.
People were also pointing out the I'll save you a seat line, which I thought was so cute because I always save Paladin a seat, is because he's never there. And I'm like,
I saw that too.
But it can mean something else for you. Like exactly what Rubee said.
It's in my head. I don't know. I need to forget about it.
I don't think we should go too much into the playlist.
Yeah, but should we just say the titles of the playlist and what they represent? Just that, and then we'll go into more details about it actually next week, because that's going to be our pre-Tortured Poets Department episode.
Was there 5 or is there only 4?
There's 5. 4 of them are the variants, and then 1 is one of the song titles.
Okay, because I see Am I Allowed to Cry? You Don't Get to Tell Me About Sad Songs. Old Habits Die Screaming. I Love You, It's Ruining My Life.
And then I Can Do It With a Broken Heart.
Right. Okay, so Am I Allowed to Cry? That one's marketing. You Don't Get to Tell Me About Sad.
That's anger.
Old Habits Die Screaming.
Depression.
I Love You, It's Ruining My Life.
Denial.
And then I Can Do It With a Broken Heart is acceptance. Yeah, like I said, if you guys are interested in listening or seeing them, were originally on Apple Music. That's where the most accurate ones are going to be, and that's where the message from Taylor is going to be on. But most platforms have people who've recreated them, so you should be able to find them. But like Meggles said, you might want to double check, find a screenshot of the original playlist, and just kind of confirm that it is accurate.
Mm-hmm. And we will also probably have links in our link area in the Discord.
I was just going onto Apple Music to get the actual playlist.
I don't have Apple Music. Next news, Jason was on WrestleMania. That's all I got on that one.
He's enjoying retirement.
Yeah.
And he just wanted a chance to put a luchador mask back on.
Yeah. And then Taylor Nation had a new post come out on Instagram, basically naming April as National Poetry Month and the birth month of Tortured Poets. Just another promo. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff going all over Twitter right now about Joe and this girl Allison. Just a whole bunch of they think proof of him cheating. We'll have a link to a TikTok that has all the posts in it because I was trying to find the picture from the party that I saw on Twitter and I couldn't find it again. This TikTok has a picture in it that I was trying to look for, so if you guys want to watch that, we'll have it in the link section after. But to sum it up, Joe was doing a sex scene with this actress in their
show. It's a series
called Conversations with Friends, and he apparently moaned Allison, like her name, instead of the character's name. From what I read, it was an unused scene, like they filmed it again and like didn't put that one in the show.
But then I also read other people saying it's still in the Prime version.
So I don't know. I don't watch this show, so
why would they keep it in?
I tried to watch the video and it's very hard to hear. Like it's kind of a reach, in my opinion, to hear Allison, but
it sounded very clear to me.
Okay.
But the character is not named Allison, right?
No.
That's not a coincidence. Okay.
So, I mean, I've seen bloopers of actors saying the actor's name and not the character's name, but that's a hell of a time to...
During it, yeah.
Jess, there is more. This is not the only thing that...
Oh, no.
As to why they think this is proof of him cheating.
Oh,
well,
no.
Not necessarily proof, but yeah.
So he hosted a party for this girl at a place that Taylor was renting at the time. And the picture that I'm talking about...
when she wasn't there.
Yeah, when she wasn't there. The picture from the party was posted apparently on like this Allison girls page. And you can see an award that Taylor just won in the background, which is why people are like, yeah, it's definitely like the place that Taylor was renting.
There is no video version of this, but if you could see the side eye I was giving, you would know.
There's also something else. So she posted a picture of this Allison girl on her Instagram with Joe in it and tagged him in it and said like, oh, kind of just a promo for the Conversation with Friends show. But it was posted on April 19th, 2022, and there's a white heart emoji in her caption.
He wasn't seen at a lot of Taylor's parties and Taylor's birthday parties even, so...
Well, no, we used to avoid going to those things.
So yeah, that has been all over my feed. I think yesterday it all came out and it was all over my feed. Of course, this is all still just kind of speculation. Nothing is obvious, like it's not confirmed or anything, but people have just kind of taken this and ran with it.
It's giving Flowers by Miley Cyrus. The music video where she went to the house where he cheated on her.
The April 19th post with the white heart emoji caption is what kind of got me.
Yeah, that's what's giving flowers to me.
Because Taylor would do that.
Yeah, she would do that.
Taylor would be that petty to drop an album about him on the exact date and reclaim the emoji for that album.
I hope she films a music video in the house. Pull on Miley's Taylor. Do it. Do it. Wear his suit. Copy Miley with that. Miley would approve. Miley would join her. She'd be in the background going, yeah, girl.
Anyways, that is the end of the news. It was quite a busy week. And it's only probably gonna get busier next week.
Oh, man.
Ugh.
And today we're going to be talking about Midnight.
Oh, this album is so different now that we know.
I know.
Before we knew, this album seemed so different. And then after you know that this is kind of the In Denial album, you're like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep. That's actually one reason that I think that this album is so genius, because of how she kind of threw us off the scent originally, because they weren't officially over yet. So she threw us off the scent with the 13 Nights thing so that we would go looking in her past,
Mm-hmm.
when she was dealing with these emotions the way she knows how to through songwriting.
She iPad kid us. She gave us something to distract us. Go, kid. Figure this out. Don't pay attention to this. What she does when she wants to go out with Travis, she gave us the vault thing for 1989. She iPad kids us. Look, keys, shiny keys. Look at the keys. Not the needle. Okay, so when did we first listen to this album?
When it dropped. I was on my way to being a full Swiftie when this album came out, and I think Midnight Rain was the first song I listened to. I don't remember why, if it's a single or something, but I listened to that song first, and it really reeled me in, and then I listened to the rest of the album. It was either that or people were talking about Midnight Rain a lot, so I was oh, I should give it a listen or something. But it was right around the time it came out, because I remember there's a lot of hype about that song specifically.
What about you, Jess?
I listened at midnight when it came out. I indeed met her at midnight.
I listened probably about a month later. Like I've said before, that's how I used to listen to Taylor music, because I was too intimidated. But at least it was just a month and not a year later, typical. I listened a month later because the tour was already announced and everything, and everyone was hyping this up so much, and I noticed that it was bringing in a lot more Swifties and stuff, and so I was okay, fine. I will go listen to this album. And I listened to it from beginning to end, because that's how I usually like to listen to her albums for the first time. Unless I already watched a music video or something that had one of the songs. For this one, I had not heard any of the songs before I listened.
How did we feel when we first listened to the album?
I have tons of notes this time. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I was actually good and I took notes this time. I usually just wing the whole thing. So for this album, I liked it a lot when I first listened, but I wasn't absolutely blown away at first. It took some time for me to process the album many times before I really came to love it. But I did really, really like it when I first heard it. But everyone was hyping it up so much, and it was bringing in new Swifties, and everyone was making a huge deal about it. And I already thought Taylor was amazing, and I already loved Folklore. I was super obsessed with Folklore at this point still. So I just wasn't, yeah, it's good, but it's Taylor, so of course it's good. That's kind of how I was feeling about it when I first heard it. I've grown to love the album a lot. It's definitely really high up there for me now. There aren't that many skips for me at all. So overall, I really, really love it. But it just was so overhyped in the beginning that I had really, really high expectations.
So as somebody who I was a Swiftie, but I wasn't a hardcore Swiftie until midnight.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the lead up to this album that really pulled people in. because that's what really pulled me in. The analyzing how she was holding the phone, analyzing like details of that really pulled me in, because I've said it before, I'm a sucker for details. So that whole like attention to detail she does pulled me in. I loved the album as soon as I heard it. It really kind of clicked with me. I don't know why. Especially now knowing it's an album in denial. When did this come out?
It came out 2022, October 21st.
So I was 1 year deep into my relationship. Yeah, and it really just, I loved it.
For me, when I heard it, it actually super resonated with me to the point that it kind of helped me leave the person that I was with at the time. So I don't know if like my subconscious picked up on the denial the first time I heard it, because I was just like, damn. And it kind of gave me a little bit of a, I don't know the word, like my eyes opened a little bit, and I kind of realized that the relationship I was in was not for me. So I love this album, and I loved it the first time I heard it. It's funny, you said you took a lot of notes this time. I took like really half-assed notes this time, because I was like, oh, I know this album so well, I'm not gonna bother. Now I'm like regretting not taking.
As I was taking the notes, I was like, oh my god, this album is so complex. Oh my god, I have so many notes. This is insane.
So before we go into the songs, this had a lot of variants. This had the original, which had the 13 songs, and then there was a Lavender edition that had 16 songs, including Hits Different, You're on Your Own Kid, a Strings remix, and Sweet Nothings piano mix. Then there was the 3 a.m. edition, which had The Great War, Bigger Than the Whole Sky, Paris, High Infidelity, Glitch, Would've Coulda Shoulda, Dear Reader. Then there was the Till Dawn version, which adds Hits Different, Snow on the Beach featuring more Lana Del Rey, and Karma featuring Ice Spice. And then there's the late night edition, which is The Great War, Bigger Than the Whole Sky, High Infidelity, Woulda Coulda Shoulda, Dear Reader, You're Losing Me, Snow on the Beach, and Karma. And originally, Late Night Edition was only available at the concert in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So I like to say the original had the 13 songs because she had said that this is the 13 sleepless nights.
Yep.
And that's why there was 13 songs, for anybody that's not super versed in Taylor.
Yep.
So there's currently not a variant or edition that has every single song.
So what I was about to say is that I suggest we go through the order of the Till Dawn edition, and then Hits Different and You're Losing Me are both after Dear Reader in their versions. We can talk about one of them and then the other one, and then finish the rest of the track list. This one's complicated. You're in for a ride.
Okay, Lavender Haze.
I'm laughing because I avoided it so long. I avoided this for so long.
Also, since she came out with the playlist, I did mark down which song is in which playlist. So Lavender Haze is Denial. Just for
Wow.
anyone who didn't know that.
Get it? Because I haven't had a chance to look at the playlist.
Yep, Lavender Haze is in Denial.
Oh.
What do you guys have to say about this song?
It really sets a great vibe for the rest of the album, I think.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is like the whole album for me, but this song especially really feels like a stoner song. Like if you're high and you're just listening, like this is just the way that it puts my brain in a specific mood. The vibe just feels like I'm high without having to be high, you know? It just gives that energy. And not to mention Lavender Haze is a strain of weed. But I found out that there was a different reason that she named it this, so that was just a coincidence. I thought it was intentionally because of that. But no, I love this song being all...
Should we say what she originally put out for this song? It was deleted later on.
Yeah.
What platform did she post it on?
An Instagram video. It was in an Instagram video. She talked that the title was inspired by Men. There's a phrase in it, Lavender Haze, and she looked it up, thought it sounded cool, and found out it's a common phrase in the 50s, and this does have a very 50s kind of vibe to it, and it means it's describing being in love as if you were in a lavender haze. That meant you were all in, encompassing love glow, and she thought it was really beautiful, and so she added it. And she originally talked about also that it was about Joe, but that video is gone now, and I couldn't find it to watch.
I found it on Twitter. Someone had posted it on Twitter. I didn't save it. I'm sorry, guys. thought it would be easy for it to just Google, so I didn't think to like save it or anything. But no, I like the whole I'm damned if I do, the 1950s shit they want from me.
Yeah.
It's a vibe. And like the first Meet Me at Midnight. Just
it's a great way to start out the album.
Yes.
Definitely. I do want to say how it starts, like, you never say too much, staring at the ceiling with you. I find that very interesting. Those lines specifically. You never say too much kind of gives me the feeling that he's like not expressive and just kind of boring. I don't know. It just makes me wonder those wordings.
I have an update. She deleted it May 1st, 2023.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was after the breakup was known. This song kind of gives me the vibe of like, let's block the world out, hide away, be in our little bubble, not face real life type of feeling.
So the 1950s blank they want from me kind of gives me like the vibe of Midnight Rain. You wanted a bride, I was making my own name. The 1950s role of her being a stay-at-home wife and home take care, and that's not what she wanted.
I was literally about to got all they keep asking me is if I'm gonna be your bride. The only kind of girl they see is a one night or a wife.
Oh right, that's also in this song.
Yeah. And then, like, what do you guys think about the get it off your chest, get it off my desk?
I love it.
How do you guys interpret it?
A lot of people have been relating it to Tortured Poets because of the From the Desk of Taylor Swift. So a lot of people are thinking that she's talking about Tortured Poets because she's getting all this stuff off her chest and getting it off her desk into now.
No, but she's saying get it off your chest, though. Which makes me think...
I was wondering if it's maybe her trying to get him to say he's also in love with her.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was saying I wonder if it's her, like, trying to get him to express himself.
The get it off my desk part just reminds me of, like, every romance thing where they sweep the stuff off the desk to make love on the desk. That's what I was thinking. Like, say you love me and then we can just get everything off the desk, except us.
True. I never thought about it like that.
Or the get it off my desk could be because she writes out her feelings, you know? And so that's where he can find what she's feeling, but she wants him to get it off his chest, tell me type of thing. Anything else about Lavender Haze?
No, but it's really hot in the air store.
Yeah.
You know.
I honestly think the whole Midnight section is...
This part in particular has the dancers with their shirts unbuttoned, and there's one that really milks it, and he knows what he's doing. You've seen the videos. He locks eyes with cameras while he's like swaying his hips all sensual. Whew.
All right, Maroon, which is in the Depression playlist.
I could see that, especially with the sobbing with your head in your hands.
So there have been a lot of speculation and theories on who this one's about.
I thought it was obvious it was about Joe because she says the one I was dancing with in New York.
Well, there's a lot of New York in Lovers.
Lover, okay, yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. A lot of the speculation was before the breakup, though.
There was actually some speculation that it was about Diana Argon. You may know her from Glee. Her and Taylor had been seen a lot together, and Diana was also known for wearing maroon lipstick for a while there. And some Swifties latched onto that potentially it was about her. But a lot of people speculate it's actually about Jake because of Red. And Red is when she moved to New York.
True. I've seen a lot of people saying Maroon's like the sequel to Red.
Yeah. But I think that there are a lot of these songs that could be about someone from the past, but could also be about Joe. So, and this is one of them, because there's some terminology she uses that kind of makes me think of Joe. And she did mention New York a lot in Lover.
She was in New York, though, with Jake, too. They go upstate.
Yeah.
And
but
Park.
Dancing in New York kind of makes me think of like being in her New York apartment on Cornelia Street, like that type of vibe. But that's just, none of these are confirmed, so that's just like our speculations.
I've also seen a few people say that like songs about Joe mention a hallway a lot, and this one is one of them that has "You're standing hollow-eyed in the hallway." Apparently there's a few songs. What I understood in the tweet was that they were all in one of the playlists that she put out.
You're Losing Me has hallway as well.
Yeah, there's a few. There's 3 or 4 that have a hallway, and people are like, what happened in this hallway? So they're saying it was about Joe because they're all...
We know what happened in the hallway. That's always where they met after the tour.
Ah.
They always ran to each other in a hallway.
That's true.
Or rather, she ran to him in a hallway.
But also, a hallway makes me think of long term because it's kind of like a homey, like it's part of a home, you know? And it's like a place that a lot of friction might happen. Like if someone's getting home late or something like that, you know, you meet in the hallway, you greet each other and you say, how's your day type of thing. I don't know. It just makes me think of like long-term relationship, living together type of vibe.
There are 2 hallways in the Lover House, and they're Folklore and Evermore.
Oh, yeah!
And they're climbing up to Reputation.
During the pandemic, they were like shouting at each other through the hallway, different lyrics and stuff, and they were writing songs together through the hallway. She mentioned that at some point during the pandemic. I don't remember where, but I have a few lyrics picked out.
So do I.
Rust that grew between telephones. That makes me think of like talking long distance or like not calling or, you know, something communication.
I was thinking not talking. Rust comes from lack of use.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mine are more just, I like the way it like makes me like I really like the way that she says the cheap ass to your top rose part. Just like the way that she says it. And I really like how many words are in like the core, like how it's just like this one long. It almost feels like stream of consciousness, like just continuous lyrics wise, and it's just very visual.
I like the lips I used to call home. I just like the way that sounds. But then also when the silence came, that makes me think like silence.
I was looking at that when you said the telephone thing. I was like, silence, yeah.
It makes me think again of like, you never say too much.
Also is making me think of how she announced it on the telephone.
That's true.
That's what it brought up to my brain.
One line that I think really stands out to me that's very interesting is the carnations you had thought were roses. That's us. Because it kind of gives me the sense of this was false. We were trying to make it seem better than it was, which kind of makes me think of the alchemy. You know, trying to make something gold that's not.
Roses are known to be a romantic love flower, right? So if it's not a rose and it's actually just a carnation, definitely goes along with that specifically.
Yeah. So carnations also are associated with love, especially red carnations. It's kind of the same with roses where the different colors mean different things. Carnations have another meaning too. I just can't remember what it is.
I feel like roses are still more romantic.
Yeah, roses are still more romantic, but it's the color thing.
Yeah.
So maybe she's saying because roses are most usually like associated with love, but carnations can mean different things. So she's saying it could be love, but it could be something else. Like it's hard to decipher what it is.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting.
Interesting.
Okay.
Anti-hero.
Oh, this song hit hard.
Oh, yeah. When my depression works a graveyard shift, I love that line.
I was literally about to say that exact one, where it's like all the people I've ghosted stand there in the room. Oh.
My hit hard is I should not be left to my own devices. They come with prices and vices.
Yeah.
I end up in crisis. I'm like,
Yeah.
when I'm left alone, I start spiraling and then I'm in a crisis.
I also just love like the rhyming of that.
Yeah, me too. I love that.
Pleasant to listen to. Yeah.
I still can't quite get it down singing wise though. That part's really hard. It's a tongue twister.
I also love the I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror.
Because it's like you don't want to look at yourself.
Yeah, like because people don't look at the sun because it's too painful to look at. But you're saying it's less painful than looking in the mirror, which is so heartbreaking.
I love the line. I just love how this sounds. One day I'll watch as you're leaving because you got tired of my scheming. And then I'm a monster on a hill too big to hang out, slowly lurching toward your favorite city. Like her fame has gotten too big. You know, she can't be normal. She can't be seen as a normal person.
So I also took that as her height thing. She is very tall for a girl, and she's talked about this and not being able to wear heels, and she's come to embrace her height, but she was made fun of it for a while. And in comparison, she would be a monster on a hill. And also with the line before it, the sexy baby, she is, I hate to say it, old by female music industry standards.
Yeah.
You would be like considered the old hag on the hill compared to the sexy babies that are the new people in the music industry. Like, I hate that we have to say this, but she's 34. She's not old. It's just unfortunately how female standards are in Hollywood.
I also really like the "Did you hear my covert narcissism? I disguise as altruism," like some kind of congressman.
I love it.
So good. And I just love the little, like, she's laughing up at us from hell. Like, that whole little story part is really funny.
I love that too. I also want to say, pierced through the heart, never killed. Like, she keeps coming back over and over. No matter how many times people or the media try to take her down, she just keeps coming back and being bigger.
To go back on the "Did you hear my covert narcissism?" It kind of is giving me the whenever she gives money, people are always like, well, of course she is. She's just doing it for attention. And it's like they're calling her a narcissist when she's trying to just give back and twisting what she's doing like she's a congressman and donates so anonymously a lot of times.
Yeah. No matter what, people say bad things about her. If she doesn't do anything, then they're like, she doesn't do enough because she doesn't care. But if she does, then they're like, she's doing it just because she's a narcissist for attention.
Yeah, like for PR or whatever. Or like it wasn't enough money because she's so rich, like she could have gave more, and it's like she didn't have to give anything.
Her anxieties and fame, her doubting herself, is she the problem? That's kind of what this song is.
Yeah, the iconic "I'm the problem, it's me."
So people also speculated that the tea time is a reference to the Kardashians because they had posted a picture of them having tea around the Reputation era when they were discussing her.
I love this song. I know it gets overplayed, but...
Yeah, I like this song when I choose to listen to it. I don't like that it gets overplayed. But that's with all of the songs that get overplayed.
But I mean, there is a reason it's overplayed. It's because it's so good and everyone can relate to it, you know, because everyone has anxieties and self-doubt.
Apparently, also the "Stare directly at the sun but never in the mirror" might also be a reference to the British newspapers, The Sun and The Mirror, which criticized her for her dating life.
Oh, I also want to say that people have pointed out the "Stare directly at the sun" thing as like an eclipse, and the eclipse is coming up tomorrow.
Yes. People are speculating stuff's gonna drop tomorrow, or something's gonna happen.
Drop everything now.
All right, Snow on the Beach. So this is In Denial.
Is every song from this album on one of the playlists?
No.
Oh, okay.
There are a few, but the majority of the songs are on one of the playlists.
Interesting.
Yeah. Snow on the Beach. So what do you guys think?
I do like it. And I actually do listen to it, but majority of the time I skip it just because I'm not in the mood for such a slow, like, pretty song. But I do like it. It's definitely not my, like, least favorite song. I just don't listen to it as much as the rest of the album. It's one of the ones that usually gets skipped. But I do see a lot of people have it on their skip list. Like, they skip it every time, which I do listen to it and I do like it. It's just sometimes it's not the vibe that I want to hear because it's a little different than the majority of the album, I think. There's a few songs that are similar, but I also sometimes skip those ones. I just sometimes I'm not in the mood for a slow song, but I do like it. It's a pretty song.
We know this about you. We already knew you were going to say it.
But this is not my least favorite slow song on the album. So I'm putting it out there. A lot of people I see like give a lot of extra hate to this song, which I don't understand.
Yeah. No, it's a pretty good song.
I do like it. And the lyrics are really pretty.
I like it. It's a very mellow kind of song, but I get what you're saying, Rubee. I'm not always in the mood for something like so mellow and chill. Sometimes I want like dancey kind of songs.
Or at least like a little bit more beat to it, you know? It's very Lana, I think.
I really like how it sounds.
I feel like it's very Lana.
Yeah, I really like the "Life is emotionally abusive" line, because it is. I mean, obviously. And then "My smile is like I won a contest. To hide that would be so dishonest. Afraid to jinx it. Can this be a real thing? Can it?" All those lines make me think of like "Can't Stop Smiling," like when you're first falling in love type of feeling, like you're afraid it's not real. You're afraid to admit that you can't stop smiling, but you can't help it, you know?
So Taylor did say on Instagram that this song is about falling in love with somebody at the same time they're falling in love with you, and that cathartic feeling. So it is very dreamy.
Yeah.
But she's now reclaimed it as denial.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to clarify that. I really like the weird but fucking beautiful part. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, because snow on the beach is weird.
Yeah.
It is kind of a weird thing to happen, but it is beautiful. And then, of course, everyone loves it when Taylor swears.
I just like, even if she just said weird but beautiful, I just think that's a nice line.
I know, but I'm just saying
I
everyone
know.
loves it when Taylor swears. So.
I don't know what their obsession is with her.
It's because she did it for so long, I think.
Yeah, because she was younger.
The same with me. People are obsessed when I do swear because I don't.
Yeah. See, exactly. That was like me too. I can relate to that too because I used to never swear and then I slowly started to, and then whenever I do, anyone would go crazy for it. Same with my sister too. If she swears, then people go crazy for it. So
My most watched Twitch clip is me swearing.
I need to go watch it now.
I cursed for charity.
Aw, that's
people
nice.
are just obsessed with like the good girl swearing type of thing. I don't know.
And then there's just me who swears all the time. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot more to say about this song.
Yeah. It's pretty.
Yeah.
I like the sound.
It
It
honestly,
has a different sound.
it gives me more Lana than it does Taylor.
Yeah.
Which I think is why I'm just not as drawn to it. Because, like, Lana does some really good music. She's just not my vibe because she just normally does more slower stuff like this. And it's not my vibe. But she is a really good artist. And it is really awesome that they collaborated. And it is a really nice song. I do like it. It's just not all the time. But I do appreciate it. And it is a really nice song.
All right, track 5.
Track 5.
You're on your own, Kate. Acceptance.
If you'd asked me to guess, I would have said Acceptance for this one.
Mm-hmm. I love the escalation in the song and the story it tells us as it like unfolds.
I really like the visual of from sprinkler splashes to fireplace ashes because you can interpret that a few different ways.
So also this is the song where the friendship bracelets come from and why we make friendship bracelets now. For those who don't know, this is where it comes from. She tells us to make the friendship bracelets to take the moment and taste it.
Yeah, because I was going to say the sprinkler splashes to fireplace ashes, you can take that as seasons changing, or I saw someone say that it could be like childhood to adulthood, because childhood you're running through the sprinklers in the summer, and then as you get older you're more into like fireplace and whatever, so it could be
you have to clean the fireplace.
yeah, because it says I waited ages, so it could be her growing up thing, or it could be seasons changing.
Well, the story it's telling us is through her life. That's how I interpret the whole song, like through her life.
I was gonna say, actually, fans have noticed that this bridge in particular is all her albums from Sprinkler Splashes, Taylor Swift, to Fireplace Ashes, Fearless. I Gave My Blood, Sweat, and Tears for This, Speak Now, and Red. I hosted parties and starved my body, 1989. Like I'd Be Saved by a Perfect Kiss. That's also 1989. The jokes weren't funny. I Took the Money, Reputation. My friends from home don't know what to say, Lover. I looked around in a blood-soaked gown, Folklore, and I saw something they can't take away, Evermore, and Midnights, essentially. They can't take those away from her. But it also could be now that we know what we know about Midnights, because there were pages turned with the bridges burned.
Yeah.
Everything you lose is a step you take. That could be Midnights.
I wanted to say, I see the Great Escape in the beginning. I think it's in the first verse. I see the Great Escape, something different bloomed, writing in my room. So it's like her writing her music, leaning on music to help her get through things and process things when things don't work out the way that she hopes. And then the line, just to learn that my dreams aren't rare, because making it in this business is really hard. Everybody wants to be somebody, you know?
I searched the party of better bodies just to learn that you never cared is also a very hard-hitting line.
Yeah, of better bodies, like comparing yourself to everybody.
Yeah.
This is such a good song. And then of course the bridge is amazing. We already kind of said the whole bridge. Oh, the bridge. I love the line, especially everything you lose is a step you take, because it is true.
I really love the pages turned with the bridges burned line.
Sometimes you have to burn bridges in order to
get to the next chapter of your life.
Yeah, and get to something better, you know, and become who you need to be. I think this song is realizing that you don't need anyone else, because at the end it's like, you're on your own, kid. You always have been. Yeah, you can face this because you don't need anyone else. You've gotten yourself through all the other stuff before. You can do it again. You're strong. by yourself.
And to remind the listeners, the track 5 is always a very special song to her, and it's always her most raw, vulnerable song of the album. So that is this song on Midnight Rain.
Yep. So this is also acceptance.
This song has a special place in my heart. Like I said, it got me into the whole album. I really related to it. I was going through something kind of similar, and I don't know. I love this song. The way that like her voice gets distorted is probably one of my like favorite like little extra things in the entire album that she does. Like it just tickles my brain a certain way hearing the like distortion. I don't know. I love it. I listen to this song all the time.
I broke his heart because he was nice. He stayed the same. All of me changed. We just weren't right for each other. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. They couldn't grow together and they wanted different things, or the timing was bad. That type of vibe.
Yeah, I saw a lot of talk that people thought it was about Jake, but a lot more people think it's about Taylor Lautner or Tom Hiddleston, especially with the "he wanted a bride, I was making my own name."
Yeah.
There was a lot of questioning if her and Tom Hiddleston would get married. And Taylor Lautner, if she had married him, she would also be Taylor Lautner. She wouldn't have her own name. Which is funny because his wife is Taylor Lautner.
Yeah.
I know, he married another Taylor.
He's got a type.
I also just really love the "he was sunshine, I was midnight rain, he wanted it comfortable, I wanted that pain." I don't know why, but that just hits really deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why people thought Taylor Lautner, because New Moon is Jacob's book in the Twilight series.
I also love the "he never thinks of me except when I'm on TV."
That's what I was literally about to say. And it's so ironic because he's always on TV.
But I never think of him except on midnights like this. So the only time she thinks of him is when she's on a really late night spiral.
Yeah. And I get why this one's an acceptance, because it's like accepting that they just weren't right for each other and that you were in my life for a reason, but it was just for that time. I love it. A lot of people have said that it like a jump scare at the beginning.
I love it.
I don't feel a jump scare. Like when I hear that, like I love it too.
That seems so dramatic, calling it a jump scare.
I know.
I'm obsessed with the distortion. Like, they say her voice is pitched down. That's the technical term, but I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I think it makes the song what it is, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I kind of love how it goes from "You're on Your Own Kid" to "Midnight Rain." Like, I love that transition, too. So it doesn't really feel like a jump scare to me. It just feels like we're on a journey with her. I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly don't think the song would have the same energy and, like, vibe if it didn't have that extra bit in it. I don't think it would have felt the same. I think it's perfect the way it is. No jump scare. Jump scare? That's so dramatic. I was jump scared. Oh my god.
That's what everyone said. Everyone was tweeting that. Anyway, okay, question?
So there is a lot of speculation that this is about Harry Styles, because a lot of the songs about him are questions. Is it over now? Are we out of the woods? I have a theory that it's about Selena and Justin Bieber. Because can I ask you a question? Did you ever kiss someone in a crowded room and every single one of your friends was making fun of you, but 15 seconds they were clapping too? Then what did you do? Did you leave her house in the middle of the night? That happened to Selena with Justin. She just had an award show and her friends were laughing and then they were applauding while she was on stage, and then he left her house in the middle of the night.
I think it could be a lot of things.
But yeah, that was my theory, and that would keep her up because Selena's one of her best friends. So.
Yeah, that is true. But there are a lot of things it could be about. But I thought that somewhere she explained that it was a lover asking their significant other at the time a question, because like how it starts is kind of like asking you a question about your past or whatever. That's kind of how it sounds, you know? And so a lot of people, since the breakup, they've come through and been like, yeah, it's kind of weird that she would be asking them about a past love and like kind of comparing it, because that's kind of what it sounds like throughout the song. Painted all my nights a color I've searched for since, or like, doesn't it feel like everything is second best after that meteor strike?
I honestly love the lines right after that. And what's that I heard, that you're still with her? That's nice. I'm sure that's what's suitable and right. But I also love the way that she like does I don't know what it's called. Suitable.
Yeah.
That thing. just really satisfying.
I don't know, this song is so complicated and confusing. Like, when I first heard this song, I did not get it at all. I really didn't understand anything. I was like, wait, what? What? What does this mean? It's kind of a hard one to interpret.
I still don't really understand a lot about it, but I just really like it. Singing it is really fun. Like, just the tempo and just the structure of it is different than most of her other songs, and it just makes it really fun to sing.
Oh, you're not sure, and I don't know. Got swept away in the gray. I just may like to have a conversation. Like, this is important. We need to discuss something important kind of feeling.
I love that whole verse where it's like, she was on your mind with some dickhead guy. And then just like, it was one drink after another, fucking politics and gender roles, and you're not sure, and I don't know. I really like just the way that it flows.
You're not sure, and I don't know really stand out to me, because it's like, what's gonna happen? What are we doing?
It's kind of similar to the first one where it's like situations, circumstances, miscommunications.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, I may just like some explanations. There's just a lot of like, I don't know what's going on, but I like some answers. Please.
Yeah.
I don't know. The song is still a little hard for me to like fully understand what's going on.
So I forgot one of the interpretations of this is possibly about a New Year's Eve kiss she shared with Ed in 2012. I don't know if there's pictures of it, but it has been confirmed that they kissed on New Year's Eve, and people thought this might be about her thinking, what if things happened with Ed? And I don't see it that way, but I understand why people would.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely an interesting song. It could mean so many different things. And Got Swept Away in the Gray. Makes me think of like, it's not good or bad. It's
not black or white. It's something in between.
Yeah. I didn't really like it when I first heard it because I was so confused. But I like it a lot better now. It just confused me too much. I was like, what? What even is this? Is that it for question? Vigilante shit.
I love this song.
Which is obvious what playlist it's on.
Revenge?
Anger, yeah.
There's so many just great feminine rage song lyrics in this. The opening line is just, draw the cat eye sharp enough to kill a man.
So a lot of people don't understand that line, so we should probably explain it because some people still don't understand that line. Cat eyes are a form of, it's a makeup style.
Usually with very sharp winged eyeliner. And so she's saying to draw it sharp enough that you could use it to stab someone.
Yeah, it's like a metaphor type thing.
Yeah, because you can't stab people with eyeliner on your face, but
not with that attitude.
Well, because later she says, they say looks can kill and I might try.
Mm-hmm.
So that, again, is just referencing the cat eye sharp enough to kill a man.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly love, like, the entirety of these lyrics. I don't think there's a line that I don't like, but there's some that, like, really stand out to me.
Yeah, same.
She needed cold hard proof, so I gave her some. She had the envelope. Where do you think she got it from? The part where she's like, she looks so pretty driving in your beds. I just love the way she says pretty. It's just so revenge
girl
sounding. Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. Like that part that you were talking about. She needed cold hard proof, so I gave her some. Women looking out for each other, warning each other about people, but they always need proof.
There were 2 divorces that happened before this. One was Kim and Kanye, and the other was Scooter and his wife. And people thought this was about Kim and Kanye. But picture me thick as thieves with your ex-wife. She would not be very friendly with Kim. Kim is the one that started the snake thing.
Yeah.
Obviously Scooter.
It could be both.
It could be both, but I don't picture her being thick as thieves with Kim.
Some people say that they think that she takes different situations, different incidents in her life, which it could be possible. So it could be both. But yeah, I agree. I don't think she would be thick as thieves with Kim.
I think people thought it was Kim because I saw a picture of Kim holding a giant envelope around the time where they were divorced. So people were like, oh my god, it's the envelope.
Scooter's wife also had an envelope in a picture.
Interesting. Did Scooter have a Mercedes-Benz?
I mean, either of them could.
Also, because Scooter would have a more white-collar job than Kanye would, right?
Producer versus artist.
Which is also one of my favorite lines. While he was doing lines and crossing all of mine, someone told his white-collar crimes to the FBI.
So white collar crime is tax evasion or money laundering. It's a category of crime.
Okay.
It does kind of seem more Scooter-esque, though.
Yeah.
And someone pointed out that doing lines could be referencing...
Oh, that's definitely what it is. That's exactly... Yeah. And that's a very corporate, white-collar job, like Vice to do.
I love that line.
It's one of my favorite lines. While he was doing lines and crossing all of mine. Oh, I love that. Yeah, no, that's definitely has to be what she's talking about.
I love I don't start shit, but I can tell you how it ends. Because it's like, I'm not the one that started this. I don't go out there looking for trouble, you know. You started this. You brought this on yourself type of thing.
To quote Aristocats, ladies don't start fights, but they can finish them.
Oh, yeah. Okay, my favorite part, though, my favorite part of the song is ladies always rise above. Ladies know what people want. Someone sweet and kind and fun. The lady simply had enough. Because we're tired of acting fine with how we're treated, having people walk all over us, just taking it and being polite, you know, not reacting. We're starting to stand up for ourselves type of thing.
It kind of makes me think she saw the Mean Girls musical because Janice has a song in it called I'd Rather Be Me where she does talk about like, oh, guys get to fight, we have to share, like we're all supposed to be ladies, and she brings up these same kind of points, and I'm like, I know Taylor lived in New York, maybe she went to see the Mean Girls.
Could have.
Another, like, just my brain loves it is the part where she's like, I'm on my vigilante shit again. Just like that line.
Yes.
That line.
I love how she says it. Oh my god. I love what she does with her voice. I've said this so many times before, but the different little touches she does with her voice.
That's the only time she says it in the song. She only says it the one time.
Yeah, I know.
I forgot to mention something about Question, like the audience cheering in the background.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You don't hear it?
I don't think I heard that.
There's like a part where there's like a bunch of, I think it's like the second or third time she mentions like, and then they're clapping too or whatever. And then everybody's cheering and clapping in the background. I forgot to mention that because it's just an extra little thing that she added in.
Jack Antonoff, I think Rachel Antonoff is in the crowd, and so is her brother, Austin Swift. They're three of the people in the crowd. Oh, I forgot to mention that Zoe Kravitz is the background vocals in Lavender Haze.
But yeah, I do love this song, and I have ever since it first came out. A lot of people did not like it, which I don't understand.
It gives a very Chicago vibe.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's less poppy, which I think is why people might not like it. It's just not like her usual.
Yes.
It honestly is very Reputation coded more.
Exactly. That's why I love it so much.
If you need a reason to love the song, go watch the Eras Tour version. It'll show you what she is capturing, and that'll make you love the song.
I was literally about to say, I think we should mention the performance of this song on the Eras Tour.
That was awkward to watch in a theater full of people.
All right, next. Bejeweled, which is Denial.
I love the opening 3 lines of this song.
Same.
I think I've been a little too kind. Didn't notice you walking all over my peace of mind in the shoes I gave you as a present.
To make it even harder. Like, ugh. I gave you those shoes. Now you're walking all over me.
Oh my god. It kills me every time I listen to it. I chuckle. Like, it's just so good.
I know. Like, you take me for granted. I made you my whole world, put things off for you, gave you everything I had, and you just used it to walk all over me. I love this song.
Also, to say, people who think that Taylor doesn't do weed, there's literally a line in here about a guy who's high. This whole album is just stoner coded, like, just this song specifically has the line, some guy said my aura's moonstone just because he was high.
Oh, I also love, by the way, I'm going out tonight. Like, I'm tired of just being home and, you know.
You never want to go out.
I also really like the, what's a girl gonna do? A diamond's gotta shine.
Yeah.
Did you say this was Acceptance?
No, Denial.
Denial. Oh,
because it's in this song, she hasn't like actually left, right? It's like, I'm going out tonight. I'm starting to, you know.
Yeah, which is part of why a lot of people think the song is about Calvin.
But
now it could be about Joe.
Yeah, I really think it's more Joe, because Baby Love, that's close to terms she used for reference for Joe, you know?
I do think it's interesting she went from Baby Love to Baby Boy in the next time she...
The main reason people thought it was about Calvin is, and when I meet the band, they ask, do you have a man? They speculate the band is Haim because she met them while she was dating Calvin.
And then I did all the extra credit, then got graded on a curve. Kind of reminds me of This Is Me Trying. And like, she's tired of going above and beyond for people that just tolerate me type of feeling. And then I can reclaim the land. Like, I can get back out there and, you know, make a comeback with my music. She can always bounce back, even though she was hiding away for so long. That's kind of what I got from that.
I also really like the "and I miss you, but I miss sparkling," because it's like, I miss who I used to be more. My missing you is not outweighed by missing my old self.
Yeah, and that's another reason I'm leaning more towards Joe, because she wasn't with Calvin for nearly as long as with Joe. And so, like, she wasn't really, like, hiding away, trying to be someone else for as long. You know what I mean? Oh, and the sapphire tears on my face, sadness became my whole sky, kind of makes me think of, like, I let this relationship become my whole life and it brought me down. That's kind of what I got from that line. I don't know. All these lines are very hard-hitting.
Yeah, for such a fun, upbeat deliverance.
Yes, which I absolutely love when she does this, and I've said this before, where it's like upbeat, but it's like not happy. I'm tired of this, you know.
Yeah, the "don't put me in the basement when I want the penthouse of your heart."
Yeah. Oh, and I forget, I should have written this line down too. What's the top 5?
Putting someone first only works when you're in their top 5.
Yeah, which really makes a statement like, oh my gosh, I'm not even in your top 5. You would rather go out with this friend and this friend and this friend, or do this instead of be with me, like, type of feeling like I'm last on your list and you're my number 1.
I
That hits
also
hard.
really like the "familiarity breeds contempt" line.
Yeah.
Like, just those 3 words hit really deep. For such a fun, like, girly pop, upbeat song, it's got a lot of really
I know.
cutthroat.
It's deep.
Yeah.
It's deep.
Labyrinth?
Which is acceptance, by the way, which kind of surprised me. But
Well, because the vibe that I got from it was that she was heartbroken and she's like, oh, I'm never gonna get over you. But then, oh no, I met someone new and I'm falling in love again. And it's scary and
I could see that, yeah.
because she says, I'll be getting over you my whole life. And then she's like, uh-oh, I'm falling in love again. I thought the plane was going down. How'd you turn it right around? So I thought it was like she was hung up on a previous and then like got caught off guard by someone new. But I don't know if that's the actual.
See, I interpreted it as one person. Like,
Oh.
as, I'm falling in love, I'll be getting you over you my whole life if this ends, type of thing. So I interpreted that as one whole person, not like 2 separate people. But it could be the way that you interpreted it.
Before we go too deep into it, also some of the lyrics from this come from her famous NYU speech. For those who don't know, Taylor got an honorary doctorate from NYU, and in the speech she talks about how to breathe, and she says, I've been expert at that. I am a doctor now. And in it, she does tell us how to breathe.
I really like how it goes from breathe in, breathe through, breathe deep, breathe out to break up, break free, break through, break down.
I love you know how much I hate that everybody expects me to bounce back just like that line. I love that line.
So I have bad anxiety when I fly, and I try to listen to things that calm me down. And I forgot about the plane is going down line, and I was listening to this on a plane, and let me tell you, it did not calm me down. I was like, Taylor, not right now, please.
And you know how scared I am of elevators. Never trust it if it rises fast. It can't last. This time that I listened through was the first time I actually heard that line, and so it hit me like, whoa.
I relate. I am terrified of elevators.
But yeah, it's also like a metaphor. Like, you know, if you fall in love fast, then it can't last. Since we're falling so fast, it's not gonna last type of feeling. Yeah.
You said this one was acceptance?
Yep. So maybe it's like accepting that, yes, you have been hurt before, but you can't just be scared of it happening again. You know, you still have to move on with your life, and it's okay to fall in love again type of thing. Maybe that's why it's an acceptance.
Honestly, the breakup, break free, breakthrough, breakdown just gives acceptance to me. Like, because you break up and then you're like, oh, I'm free. I break free from that. And then you have a breakthrough of like how much better you are. But then, you know, some people, even after they kind of have the acceptance, they still have a breakdown of sometimes even after you go through the breakthrough, you can still have just a wave of emotions after the fact.
Yeah, that's true.
See, for how slow this song is, I actually do really like this one. Just putting it out there. This is also not my least favorite slow song.
Just wait till we get to your least favorite slow song.
Running out of
This
songs.
is my least favorite slow song.
Wow.
Really?
No, it isn't. It isn't. I like Labyrinth. I was just saying what you're gonna say when we get to it. I like this song. It's not my favorite, but I do like it. It is really slow. But I love how she says labyrinth. Like she really enunciates it. Labyrinth. Hey everyone, let's take a quick break here just to remind you that if you're enjoying the episode, please give us a rating. It also helps a lot if you share the episode. Alright, now let's get back.
Okay, Karma.
Karma.
A lot of people hate this song.
I love this song.
I've seen so much hate.
Why?
It's such a fun song. I don't know.
It's such a good song.
People hate everything fun.
It's such a good song, though. It's like, yeah, you're gonna get what's coming to you. Happy, like, you know, I didn't do anything.
Goes around, comes
I'm
back
not
around.
gonna worry about what's coming back around, but you should worry about what's coming back around. I love it.
Yeah, I had some people do me real dirty when this song came out, so I like this song because it just makes me think of them and hope that their karma comes at some point soon.
Yeah. Yep. My pennies made your crown. I love that line.
I was going to say that line and the next line kind of tell us who this song is about. Mr. Spider Boy, SB, Scooter Braun.
I love the trick me once, trick me twice. Cash ain't the only price. Because it's like she's given second chances and got burned again.
Yeah, it's also about Kanye with that.
So karma will get you. So now there's no more chances and I'm just going to let karma do its thing. I love aren't you envious that for you it's not? Because for you,
I love the whole
karma's bad
whole
because you're bad. But for me, karma's good because I'm good. Like...
I've seen so many people just like confused by the song. They just don't get it. And I'm like, how do you not get it?
It's so literal.
It's like so literal. Honestly, anytime I see people who are like, they don't get the song, I'm like, so you've just never had anyone betray you or screw you over.
Yeah, you've just had it easy.
That's the only way. Yeah, you've just had a really easy life then, because I don't understand how you don't get the song.
It's so literal. It tells you exactly what it is.
I also like the way she's reclaimed it at the Eras tour for Karma as the guy on the Chiefs coming straight home to me in reference to Travis.
I mean, the guy on the screen, he's on the screen too. Like the big
yeah.
screen at the game, the big screen on the TV.
So it still works.
But I do like how she changed it for him when he's at the shows.
And his reaction is great every time.
He's like, yeah, that's me.
I love the ask me what I learned from all those years, ask me what I earned from all those tears. Like, she's gone through so much, but look at her now. She's come out the other side stronger than ever. Oh, and they ask me why so many fade, but I'm still here.
I like you're terrified to look down, because if you dare, you'll see the glare of everyone you burn just to get there.
Glass ceiling.
But people like literally ask this all the time about her. Why is Taylor Swift so big? What's the big deal about her? Why is she so successful? Type of thing, you know. Karma. That's why. I love the karma is the thunder rattling your ground. Karma's on your scent like a bounty hunter. Karma's gonna track you down. I love that line. I love the play on words and I love how scary it sounds because like if you've been a terrible person, you really need to watch out.
Also just the karma, like sweet like justice, karma's a queen, karma takes all my friends to the summit. It's like, no, if you're on the right side of things, karma's gonna treat everybody on this side.
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Not just me, but anybody that support that doesn't support you.
Yeah.
Or like,
I'm a big believer in what you put out comes back 3 times fold, so I love this song.
And I just love that she put Karma's a cat purring in my lap because it loves me in there because that is how I feel. That is like how I feel every time JoJo is on my lap purring, I'm like, yeah, I got Karma on my side.
I've
You
seen
don't
so
know
many
how
people
Frank
name
is
their
really
cats Karma.
Yeah.
My kitty doesn't like sitting on anyone's lap.
Didn't
Thank
Olivia Benson name her cat Karma?
Yeah.
Because
And
she found it.
Taylor commented on that
Mm-hmm.
things came back around. Okay, Sweet Nothing, which is Denial, by the way.
So this song was written with Joe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably about Joe.
Yep, and a Denial, which I can totally see.
Yeah, same.
Because it kind of sounds sweet, but the production is like melancholy-ish. You know, it's kind of like a melancholy undertone.
Okay. Wicklow is in Ireland, by the way. She says, does it ever miss Wicklow sometimes in the first verse? Wicklow is in Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
So probably about Joe.
Interesting.
It just gives me similar vibes as New Year's Day, just with like the piano sounds in it. I don't know how similar the tune actually is because I don't listen to that song very often, but it just reminded me of New Year's Day with the piano in it. I don't know how similar they actually are, but
I don't know.
this is my least favorite slow song on the album.
Okay.
Knew it. I knew it.
This one is a skip for me most of the time. I don't know. I don't like, it's just really boring to me. It doesn't resonate, like all the other slow songs like really resonate with me, like the lyrics and stuff. Like, I don't know what it is about this one that just don't resonate with me. Because most of the slow songs in this album I actually do really enjoy and I do listen to on a more frequent basis than like most slow songs. But this one just, the lyrics just don't do the same thing for me as the other ones. So this one's just, yeah. So I don't have a whole lot to say about this one.
I have a lot of notes on this one just for the lyrics.
While you talk, I'm gonna read the lyrics and see if anything sticks out to me.
I like this song. It's not my favorite, but I enjoy it. I knew as soon as we said Sweet Nothing, I'm like, Rubee, this is the song Rubee doesn't like.
I don't not like it. I have heard it in its entirety, and it is a good song. I do think that this album is skipless, except for one song, which is on a deluxe version, so I'll get to that later. But I do think this is a good song. It's not the vibe that I'm normally going for, and like I said, the lyrics just don't resonate with me as much. With, in combination, the tempo and style of it.
Okay, but yeah, anyway, all that you ever wanted from me was Sweet Nothing kind of makes me think, wait, he wants nothing from her? When you first hear it, it sounds sweet, but then you really think about it and kind of like, wait.
So there is like Sweet Nothing is a term that is used to explain pleasant, loving, or flattering things that a lover says to the person that they love.
Yeah, but sometimes she says Sweet
It's
Nothing.
just like whispering sweet nothing.
I know that, but sometimes she says Sweet Nothing and then all you wanted from me was nothing. Like at some point in the song, that too. Okay. So I feel like it has multiple like layers, like most of her lyrics. You know, it has a deeper meaning than first realize. Wrote a poem on the way home. You say, what a mind. This happens all the time. So it kind of makes me feel like, is this dynamic getting old? Because it happens all the time. Like, it's not as special as it was in the beginning because you're used to it.
Well, and also, what a mind is like a very...
It could be taken many ways, yeah.
It's not a very, like,
what a mind.
Sweet and specific, nice thing to say to a lover, you know? Like, it's a very general, could be compliment, could not be compliment. It's very plain and bland. It's not what I would say if I was complimenting someone that I was in love with. If I was complimenting their mind, that's not how I would phrase it, you know?
Yeah. Something more like, you're so amazing, or, I don't know, something bigger, some bigger word.
Or, like, I would, like, read the poem, and I'd be like, man, like, you have such a beautiful way with words.
Yeah,
or, like,
something.
The way you write is, you know, there would be more to it than just, what a mind. Like, I don't know.
Oh, right. They said the end is coming. You're in the kitchen humming. Makes me think of the bubble again. Like them being in their own little love bubble. And like him being kind of ignorant. Because he's just in the kitchen humming, not really realizing what's going on outside of this. Let's ignore everything else in the world and just pretend that we can be like this forever in our little love bubble type of feeling.
Do you have any thoughts on the industry disruptors and soul deconstructors and smooth talking hucksters line?
Not really.
Because I have no idea what that means, and I was hoping you maybe had some sort of interpretation for that. It's a bunch of cool big words.
Yeah.
It just stood out to me, but I don't really have a thought on it.
Yeah.
It just
I don't know. Interesting.
and the voices that implore you should be doing more.
Yeah, I've always loved that one. Because, like, she never does enough to some people, you know?
But then all he wanted was nothing.
Some people want her to do more activism and stuff, but then she's like, to you, I can admit I'm just too soft for all of it. She's not as strong as she makes us think. But yeah, it's an interesting song, and I'm not surprised it's in denial. Mastermind?
I love this song.
Me too.
I love the realization. So people originally speculated this was about making somebody fall in love with her.
Mm-hmm.
But now when we see the heirs her do this there, it's kind of us. It's about us, probably.
Yeah.
And I love that interpretation of it.
I feel like it's more general than just someone falling in love with her.
I think the reason people thought it was a love thing is because she says, like, the women were all born to be in the pawn in every lover's game. So people just took that,
like I said
line.
before, it could become a composited sketch and like mean more than one thing, you know?
For sure.
But I definitely don't think it's just a love song. That's for sure. I love the what if I told you none of it was accidental.
I like the dominoes cascaded in a line.
Mm-hmm.
I love that she included the word Machiavellian.
I was gonna say, I also love the I'm only cryptic and Machiavellian.
In a song.
It's a big word.
I also like how it flips around in the second and it's like, you knew that I'm a mastermind.
Yes, the twist at the end.
Knew all along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like I told you.
Yep.
And on your face, you knew.
Yep.
The entire time.
Mm-hmm. I love that too.
Also like the checkmate, I couldn't lose.
But to go back to what you were saying, the wisest women, that line, I love that. The second verse is insane. All the wisest women had to do it this way. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I love that part.
Same.
Because, like, women are set up to be pawns, objects, prizes. And so we've kind of learned that we have to be strategic a little bit sometimes.
I also don't know how to describe this very well, but I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. There's like a sound effect or something in the song which gives my brain a visualization of like dominoes falling or like something falling into place. There's like a
yeah,
I don't know what it is, but there's like a sound that's like a background
it's like
sound in it that like
mechanical. Yeah, I can't think of a good word either.
Like, I've never noticed that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to re-listen.
If I were to describe the sound, it sounds like things falling into like there's no really way to describe it. I think it's throughout the whole song, like it just kind of comes in and out. Since Meggles has mentioned like the little background stuff so much, I've started to like kind of take all of it in and like listen for it. So now that I'm like hearing all of it, it just makes the song so much better.
Yeah, see, she's like
I noticed there's some sort of like
with her music.
But yeah. This one has, I don't know how to describe it other than like it kind of gives a visual of like dominoes falling or something falling into place or like clicking in or I don't know. I also just love the planets and the fates and all the stars aligned.
I love no one wanted to play with me as a little kid, so I've been scheming like a criminal ever since. That line hits.
Yeah.
To make them love me and make it seem effortless is what hits me.
Because it really affects you if no one wants to be your friend when you're a kid. You know, that really affects you in how you develop and grow. Because that kind of stays with you.
Yeah, you definitely, it affects who you are as a person later on in life.
And a lot of people don't like this song as well. A lot of people want this song out of the Eras tour. think this should not have been in the set list.
It
But
is so good in the set
it
list.
is so good, yeah. It seemed like such a personal song for her, so it makes sense that it's in the set list.
So the sounds that I'm talking about are like literally right at the beginning. If you listen to this song, it's the sounds right at the beginning, and then she sprinkles that sound like throughout the rest of the song in like little tidbits. But it's that sound effect or whatever that she's playing right at like the opening bit, so that people know what I'm talking about. But then she sprinkles it in little chunks throughout the rest of the song.
Explain it.
I was like, did I miss something?
Well, we
I
don't
don't
know
know
how to
just
explain
like
it.
how do you
We
describe that? That's why I was like, I should
I
try
thought it
and
was like
figure it
something
out.
deep in the background. That's why I'm like, I never noticed that.
can't.
No, it's
No.
that's why I was like, it's throughout the whole song.
We're just really bad at explaining it. That's all.
Kind of like when you're on a piano and you're
That's why I was doing the
scales like over and over.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it just sounds like things
Things
falling
falling into
I don't know.
place. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me too.
I'm thinking it's like something deep in the background. That's why I'm like racking my brain. Like I don't recall something like in the background.
I'm not a technical music person, so I don't know specific terms and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know how to like describe it in a musical.
I was just thinking at a different point in the song. That's why I was like, is there something in the background I'm missing that she's singing over?
It adds that little extra in my brain. It makes a visual of like I don't know, things falling into place.
It scratches an itch in my brain.
Yeah, that's how you usually describe it.
So yeah, tickles my brain. Scratches.
It just adds to it, and it like sets up the song.
It also kind of gives a visual, like it was if you were like panning over the universe, like that's the sound that I would like kind of hear in my head if you're looking at the sky, and that because then it's like the planets and the fates and all the stars align. Then I don't know, it's a satisfying sound. Okay, that's all I gotta say about it.
Okay, is that all about Mastermind?
I think so, yes.
Okay, so then that was the main album. So now we're gonna continue.
Original 13.
Yeah, now we're gonna continue with the Great War, which the Great War is bargaining.
I mean, we were all bargaining with Ticketmaster, so
I feel this with UMG and my freaking lover's snow globe.
I'm trying to find the Great War in my notes because it's in a different order.
I love the line, I drew curtains close, drank my poison all alone. That's like, I'm gonna go away and be with myself for a bit type of feeling.
Also, my knuckles were bruised like Violet sucker punching walls. That being alone and just like hitting the wall and trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah.
I like the bridge. Like somewhere in the haze, got a sense of been betrayed, your finger on my hairpin triggers. I like that part.
You said I have to trust more freely. Maybe it's the past that's talking, screaming from the crypt, telling me to punish you for things you never did. Kind of makes me think like her anxieties from past relationships causing fights. Kind of gives me a bit of Afterglow vibes, this song.
I can see that. But Diesel's desire and you were playing with fire. Diesel's a type of fuel and it was feeding into the flames of it all.
And it's also interesting, the soldier down, icy ground, I called up the troops, that was the night I nearly lost you. The soldier and the troops make me think of You're Losing Me.
With the front lines?
Yeah, because she's used that before, like in songs relating to Joe, so kind of makes me think of that. And then I just want to say that I love how she says crypt. It's bigger than BlueSky. Depression.
Wow, couldn't have guessed that one.
Yeah, I know.
I normally skip this one just because it makes me really sad, and if I'm not wanting to be sad, then I don't want to listen to this one. But
same.
I do have like a couple lines that really
stand out. Yeah, same.
Like did some bird flap its wings over in Asia, did some forest take you because I didn't pray.
That is
It's
what I was
really
going to
hard.
say too. And it kind of gives me like butterfly effect type of thing, you know?
I think that's what she was going for with the bird flopping its wings. I remember I lost someone. It's been like several years now, so it's not as close to home anymore. But I remember kind of thinking if because I'm not a super religious person, so I was like, you know, so that whole because I didn't pray thing hits.
Yeah.
That one always stands out to me.
I like the it's not meant to be, so I'll say words I don't believe.
And the I'm never gonna meet what could have been, would have been, should have been you. It's a beautiful song.
Yep.
It just makes me really sad. So I normally just skip it because I don't want to be sad at that moment. But it is a beautiful song, and the lyrics are beautiful. The message is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's pretty and it's sad.
Yeah.
And it depicts like loss of someone very well.
Mm-hmm. Just like all of her other songs that have
Yeah.
that message. She's very good at...
Yeah.
Okay, Paris?
Okay, Paris.
People hate this song for no reason, and I love this one. I really like the sit quiet by my side in the shade, and not the kind that's thrown. I mean the kind under where a tree has grown.
Oh, that part is fun. That part is really fun.
Yeah. I think it's a fun song.
It is a fun song, but there are moments in it that are interesting. Map on the bedroom ceiling makes me think of Lavender Haze staring at the ceiling with you.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see the news because we were somewhere else. Kind of makes me think of like Bubble. Again, that Bubble.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
I really like did you see the photos? No, I didn't, but thanks though.
It's a fun line.
And the romance is not dead if you keep it just yours.
Yeah, that's like the bubble again, saying private. It'll stay alive if we keep it private type of feeling. And then there's the whole privacy sign on the door, on the page, on the whole world. It escalates. It kind of makes me think she wasn't revealing as much as she could in her songs while she was with him.
The cheap wine, make believe it's champagne, also makes me think of the roommate's cheap ass screw top rosé.
That's true. Yeah, it just gives vibes of like, let's keep the whole world out and just be wrapped up in each other, and we can pretend. And
yeah, this is I want to keep this for myself and not let anybody else in.
Which gives me rep vibes too.
I was actually wondering if this is in Paris or if they were pretending they were in Paris because of the cheap ass screw top rosé part again with the cheap wine.
Well, a lot of it says that we were somewhere else, like we were in Paris. Like, it's not necessarily...
they say, stumble down pretend alleyways, cheap wine, make believe it's champagne. So I feel like a lot of it's like they're just pretending they're in Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they're in his apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me, too.
I want to transport you to somewhere the culture's clever.
So I definitely feel like it's not actually in Paris.
It's like they're just daydreaming of being there. Because it goes from the map on the bedroom ceiling, we didn't see the news because we were somewhere else. Like somewhere else being in their own bubble.
Yeah.
The map on the ceiling, they picked where they wanted to be.
Yeah. It almost gives me like a modernized fairy tale love vibes, like from her older stuff. Like just a very innocent, like lovey sort of vibe, but like more modernized for her being older and kind of knowing what love actually is. But she's like, I'm just gonna pretend that it's this anyway, sort of thing.
The one line that stood out to me this listen through, I want to brainwash you into loving me forever. I never heard that before. How can I keep you forever? Like, I don't want you to slip away type of feeling. She literally says, I want to brainwash you into loving me forever. I was like, wait, what? I never heard that before.
I also just love just like the opening verse. It's just really fun and like gossipy feeling. I don't know.
It's a really fun song.
Some wannabe Z-lister. Really fun. Do we know who this is about, or is there any sort of speculation specifically with this one?
I'm speculating Joe just because it would make sense, but
that's the speculation.
So I was saying your ex-friend's sister, so I didn't know if like,
I don't know if
maybe that was for someone specific.
Yeah, I don't know. Because
she mentions 2003 and like photos and being terrible outfits, so I was wondering if there was any FBI Swiftie that went deep dive into
I haven't seen anything on that. It could just be metaphors and not literal. Because she does that a lot with her music too. Not everything is a literal.
Oh, I know. I was just
not with that.
I was wondering if she's a mastermind. Everything's for a reason.
She's a mastermind, and everything's for a reason. But it could just be for a metaphor, and that's the reason.
Burst my bubble, Meggles.
All right,
I
are we
want to
ready?
find the photos.
High infidelity, it's anger, which kind of surprised me because it doesn't really seem angry, but
A calm kind of angry.
yeah, I guess.
Do you guys take this song as she also cheated on him?
That's how I originally interpreted it, but I don't know.
So
There's a lot of speculation.
I was going to say the main speculation on this one is that it's about Calvin Harris and Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
Because those relationships did overlap.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Because he was the getaway car, Tom was from Calvin.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Only Taylor knows.
Yeah, only Taylor knows for sure. But it could be that. It could be more recent. I don't know. But I like the put on your records and regret me. I like that line. And then the storm coming, good husband, bad omen, drag my feet right down the aisle. Kind of makes me think of he's good on paper. I'm trying to convince myself that he's the right thing and this is what I want. But that's not where my heart is type thing.
Yeah, like seemed like the right thing at the time.
Doesn't she literally say that in the song somewhere?
Yeah, right at like a couple lines down. That was what I was.
I like the I'd pay if you just know me because it's like, oh, he doesn't actually know her.
Yeah, so I really like the your picket fence is as sharp as knives line. Because it's like the white picket fence dream feels like a trap to her.
Yeah.
That's how I think of that, and it kind of just reminds me of like the whole Lavender Haze Midnight Rain, like expecting to be a bride thing. And like the you said I was freeloading, I didn't know you were keeping count, really resonates with me because I had a past partner pull that stuff on me when I was not in a great spot. And I was like, oh, didn't know you were tracking that type of thing. So I love that line.
You were keeping count kind of makes me think of So It Goes.
I was thinking that.
And so isn't that speculated that it's about Calvin, right?
I think so. I don't remember.
So I'm wondering if maybe that's part of it too. I don't know. It's all speculation, but
my favorite line from this song though is, you know, there's many different ways that you can kill the one you love. The slowest way is never loving them enough.
Yep, that's a great line.
It reminds me of You're Losing Me.
Yeah, taking you for granted.
Which I'm pretty sure I've mentioned in another episode. I think we have
or just tolerating your love.
Yeah, I really like this song, but I was wondering if it was supposed to be like they were both cheating sort of thing.
It could be.
Or like what your guys' interpretation was for it. Because I just really like the lyrics of it.
Some of the lyrics kind of point to that. Do you really want to know where I was April 29th? It's kind of like I was doing something.
Well, it's the do I really have to turn the constellation in his eyes for me?
Yeah, that's literally what I was about to say.
Or the do I really have to tell you how he brought me back to life?
That line is devastating.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's right after the there's so many ways you can kill the one you love. Like,
yeah.
Which one did you say this was in again? Anger?
Yep. She wrote this when she was angry. Basically, that's what she said about the anger playlist.
I mean, that makes sense. I can see that. She was angry and wanted to hurt with her words.
Yeah.
I do really like this song, though. I listen to it all the time. A lot of people hate this one, too. I see a lot of hate for this one.
It's not my favorite, but I still really like it. There's no songs I hate on this album, though.
I have one if the bonus tracks count, but we'll talk about that when we get to it.
I think I know what it is.
You probably do. Anyway, we'll get there when we get there.
I can't think of one. Okay, Glitch is Denial.
I could see that.
I love
it.
It's giving me I can't think of the song. It's from Lover. I don't do accidents except from when we went from friends to this.
Oh, that's Paper Rings.
Right. We were supposed to be just friends. I think there's been a glitch. Like, it was giving me that kind of vibe.
Oh. And that also kind of makes me think of The Reputation. Oh, I'm trying to think of which song it is. There's a Reputation one where they like work friends turned into lovers type of thing. I like the depending on what kind of mood and situationship I'm in.
Is it Call It What You Want?
Maybe.
Is that the one you're thinking of?
It might be in the bridge, or I know it's somewhere on there. And then it's interesting, 2,190 days of our love blackout equals 6 years.
And that's how long it's been since Reputation. People pointed out that we hit that amount of time from when Reputation came out. That was why people thought it was coming out in February at one point.
This is also, she mentions Blood Moonlit, and Blood Moon is one of the variants of the album. In search of glorious happenings of happenstance on someone else's playground. This is fun.
I'd go back to wanting dudes who give nothing. Kind of interesting statement there.
This is a fun song. I just don't listen to it as often because I normally listen to this album in my car, and the CD variant that I have doesn't have it on it, so I just don't hear this song as often in my rotation, but I do like it. It's a good song. A lot of people also hate this song because it sounds different.
I like the sound of it, though.
I do too. It kind of gives me
distortions a little bit.
It kind of gives me like I'm drunk dancing in my kitchen. I don't know why, but that's like how I pictured myself listening to this. And I also love the like glitch in the song where it like pauses.
Yeah.
There's like the glitch noise and then it pauses and it kind of goes like offbeat or whatever. I think that's really fun.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Next, would've, could've, should've.
I have so many notes on it. The song. Oh, by the way, the song's Anger. That's pretty obvious, but.
By the bridge.
I call this song the Slaughter 2.0.
Yeah. So before we get into that, the song is either about Jake Gyllenhaal or John Mayer.
I really don't think it's Jake because she wasn't with him when she was 19.
More on John.
Yeah, she wasn't with him when she was 19. That's kind of like obvious. Plus, even though Jake was older than her, John Mayer was even more older than her. So it's like you were even more a grown man. And it's interesting because on the original edition that this came out on, it was 19. Track 19.
None of it was accidental.
But it has an insane beginning, and the entire song gives me chills. I love the, if I was some paint, did it splatter on a promising grown man? If I was a child, did it matter if you got to wash your hands? Because, like, he groomed her, got away with it. He's a man who never had to take accountability type of feeling. That's what that gives me.
Well, it's just like all I used to do was pray. I would have stayed on my knees, and I damn sure never would have danced with the devil at 19.
There's tons of religious imagery in this song, which kind of gives me like goody two shoes before him type of feeling.
Well, because that was her image around that time, right?
Yeah.
She was very...
It kind of gives me like goody two shoes Christian girl before this. This song is just super relatable to those of us who were like that before in our lives, grew up that way. So it's really personal for me. All the religious imagery and stuff. I love that if you never touched me, I would have gone along with the righteous.
I was gonna mention the bits like right below. If you never saved me from boredom, I could have gone on as I was, but Lord, you made me feel important, and then you tried to erase us. Oh, you're a crisis of my faith.
The crisis of my faith. I love that. Being with him was exciting, maybe new and dangerous and rebellious. You know, that's kind of what that is encompassing for me, that whole line, that whole section.
And of course, we have to mention the living for the thrill of hitting you where it hurts. Give me back my girlhood. It was mine first. Line in the bridge.
Execution.
Which could be interpreted many different ways. It could be possible that does mean her virginity. It's very possible, but it doesn't necessarily. Either way, I think what she's saying in that statement is that she was a totally different person before he came along, and being with him changed her faith and changed her forever. And that,
I don't really see it as virginity. I
do
think
personally, but that's a personal thing. Yeah, that's a personal.
I see it as her innocence.
But
is this her first? Was this her first relationship?
No, but all the other guys before were really short. I think this one was pretty short too. But
and one more purity ring.
Oh yeah, Joe Jonas. Yeah. Joe Jonas was Christian.
I was just wondering the likelihood of.
So it is very likely.
Okay.
It is very likely, especially since he was a grown man at 32 and she's 19. And as I'm just going to say, I can relate to the age that if that is true. But if it is not true, like it still means the same thing. Like it could encompass just innocence. Just
That's how I took it originally anyway.
But it could be literal. But I feel like she's saying in this song that she's had a lot of trauma after being with him.
Yeah.
And that kind of trauma is really hard to get through, and it takes so long to get through. Personally, I'm 10 years after mine, and it still every once in a while triggers me. So this song is very relatable. I love it.
I do have a little bit more to say on this one. So I was 19 when I had some stuff happen. It's not the same age gap or the exact same story, but this song also hits really close for me as well personally. So I feel you, Meggles, with that.
Yeah.
And the line "I regret you all the time" really stings.
Because, like, even though you're stronger because you went through it, you know, it still is like, what kind of person would I be if I hadn't gone through it? Like, where would my life have gone?
Yeah, like,
you know?
Memories feel like weapons.
There were a lot of things that I probably would have done instead of what I did do. It took a lot of my life going through that. Oh, and then now that I'm grown, I'm scared of ghosts. I love that line too, because it's like now that she's grown, it puts even more into perspective what happened and what he did and how vulnerable she was when she was that young. It's like when you are 19, you don't feel young. But then when you're older and looking back, you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I was so young. All right.
Dear Reader?
Dear Reader, depression.
Yeah, I could see that.
This is one of my favorite songs on the album.
Really? Oh my
I love the lyrics of it. Honestly, it's the lyrics for me.
I'm scared of what song you don't like.
It's hits different, isn't it, Rubee?
No.
Oh, good.
No?
Okay. Ooh, oh, it's one of the remixes. Then that's fine. That's fine. That doesn't count. Okay. I was getting scared. I was like, you don't like It's Different?
No, I love that song. Okay.
Okay. Anyway,
no.
Dear Reader.
Honestly, the entire lyrics of this entire song is beautifully written. It's just how it's kind of like advice and like life.
I do like the song, but it is really slow. This is one of my least favorite because it's so slow. It's hard for me.
Really?
Yeah.
People noticed a similarity with this and the speeches she would give during the 1989 tour for Clean and Never Take Advice from Someone Who's Falling Apart. She was falling apart during that tour and she was giving advice.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. See, I just like the
I like
if
that
it feels
line.
like a trap, you're already in one. Bend when you can, snap when you have to.
I love that. Like, make compromises for when you can, but then if you can't, then just walk away type of feeling.
You don't have to answer just because they asked you. Love that.
That's true. It's like you don't owe them an answer. You don't owe them an explanation.
The greatest luxuries is your secrets. Like, keep those close and sacred. When you aim at the devil, make sure you don't miss.
I love that too.
Like, just all the lyrics. Like, I just love the lyrics of this song. I know it's slow, but this is the slow song that I actually listen to all the time. I listen to this, like, when I have a really short drive. I love the bridge, like, the part where she says, my fourth drink in my hand, these desperate prayers of a cursed man spilling out to you for free. The way that she sings is just like, it just scratches that itch in my brain. I don't know. And then you wouldn't take my word for it if you knew who was talking, if you knew where I was walking to a house, not a home, all alone because nobody's there.
Yes, that makes you think. It's like, if you only knew how it really is.
And then no one sees when you lose when you're playing solitaire. It's like the whole does a tree fall if nobody heard it
sort
of thing. I just really like the lyrics in this song, so my brain bypasses the slowness for once, and it's just, I love listening to this song.
Whole thing is just, you don't know what someone's going through, and everything you think you know could be wrong. Type of feeling. Never take advice from someone who's falling apart. She's secretly falling apart.
Also, the way she says the never take advice from someone who's falling apart is just gives me life. It's just so pretty. I just love this song.
We'll regret listening to her advice when we realize what was actually going on. Or kind of like what happened when we did find out about the breakup. Because when we did find out about the breakup, everyone was like crushed and looking at songs differently and going back and looking at Lover and being like, wait a second. You know, that type of feeling like, oh my gosh, we had no idea.
That's my whole rant on that song. Basically, just the entire song. I like it.
It does have really good lyrics. I just don't enjoy the melody at all. All right, it's different.
So somebody pointed out that there's a lot of parallels in the lyrics between this and other songs that we 100% know are about Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I pictured you with other girls reflects delicate. Do the girls back home touch you like I do?
Also, to all the girls I loved before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I never don't cry at the bar. I slur your name till someone puts me in a car. Cruel summer, I'm drunk in the back of the car, and I cried like a baby coming home from the bar. Curse the space that I needed. Reflects Cornelia Street. I thought you were leading me on. I packed my bags, left Cornelia Street before you even knew I was gone. Dreams of your hair and your stare reflect Gold Rush. Eyes like sinking ships on water so inviting. You must be like to grow up that beautiful with your hair falling into place like dominoes. I heard your key in the door down the hallway. Reflects the Great War. My hand was the one you reached for. And also the hallway reflects again.
Again, yeah, the hallway. The key in the door thing also makes me think of long term, living together. We were living together, now we've broken up, but you still have the key type of feeling.
The lover house.
And the lover house, yeah. And it's also interesting too that Hits Different and You're Losing Me are switched out in each of their versions because they're both after Dear Reader. So they're like in the same slot. And we know that You're Losing Me is about Joe.
Oh, yeah.
So it's interesting that that's the case. Also, didn't Hits Different come out like a little bit later than the original album?
Yes, because it's on a deluxe.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't streaming for a long time too, right?
That one I'm not sure on.
I feel like it wasn't streaming.
I'm not sure which variant it was
until
on.
Partway through the Eras Tour, I think, is when it came out on streaming. So it was kind of a very selective song, just like You're Losing Me.
I really like I pictured you with other girls in love, then threw up on the street. It's really funny. I also like I used to switch out these Kens. I just go rip the Band-Aid off and skip town like an asshole outlaw. Like just the way she says that line is just really funny. Yeah. And now the sun burns my heart and the sand hurts my feelings. I also noticed this song talks about I find the artifacts, I trace the evidence, which is all leading to
Tortured
Poet. A wrinkle in time, like the crease by your eyes. This is why they shouldn't kill off the main guy.
Moving on was always easy for me to do. It's different because it's you. Like, this is the hardest one to get over. Which, if it is about Joe, would make sense because she was with him for so long. It's different than the other ones.
Yeah.
And then she mentioned your sense of belief in the good of the world. You once believed in me. And that's all very similar things that she said before in songs about him. In, Peace, I forget this exact wording, but the way she wrote love songs about him was, kind of holding him up. Your belief in the world and the way you think is way higher than mine type of thing. Kind of holding him up on a pedestal a little bit. Or, trying to be worthy of him type of thing. Oh, integrity. His integrity. That's how she worded it in Peace.
Your integrity makes me feel small. Your paint dreamscapes on the wall.
Yeah, your integrity makes me feel small. Ready for You Losing Me?
Yes.
And I have a lot of notes on You're Losing Me. Who wants to start? It's depression, but that makes sense. It's obvious.
Notable things, the heartbeat, the breathing. Mm-hmm. I love the way she uses the breathing. And I forget who came out with it. It was some sort of medical place that said that it's the perfect tempo for doing CPR. Which is really interesting because it's you're losing me and she's trying to restart.
Trying to resuscitate it, yeah.
Where my heart won't start for you anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's the same genius, same tempo as CPR. Mm-hmm. Those are my notable things, and then just all of the lyrics are
oh my god,
gut wrenching.
I love all the lyrics.
I think one of the notable things is also that one of the credited authors spells out capillaries or something like that, which is your heart. So essentially Heartache is an author on this song.
My favorite part is the bridge. Just the entire bridge.
Oh,
Like, how long could we be a sad song till we were too far gone to bring back to life? I gave you all my best me's, my endless empathy, and all I did was bleed as I tried to be the bravest soldier. So this reminded the Great War. Fighting in only your army, front lines, don't you ignore me, I'm the best thing at this party. And then the whole devastating, I wouldn't marry me either. Pathological people pleaser who only wanted you to see her.
Saying,
And then
do something.
Yeah,
Ugh,
that part.
That part.
Do something, say something, lose something, risk something, choose something. I got nothing to believe unless you're choosing me. It's just
God.
makes me want to sob.
It's like she's begging him to do something. Give her something.
And I've been there.
You know, I've been there so many times.
This song
But
is very sadly relatable for a lot of
it kind of gives the song Say Something vibes a little bit, but a more angry, desperate version of it. And this is the last straw.
we know when this was written because Jack told us.
December
With the gaslighter
2021. I feel like she's saying, I choose you over and over and over. Please choose me just this once, type of thing.
So what's interesting is the edition it's on was only released at the East Rutherford shows in New Jersey, and that is technically the New York shows. Take that what you will, but it's the closest place she lived with Joe.
Interesting. And it is interesting that she held this song back for so long, too, before being like, okay, here you go. You weren't ready yet. She was waiting.
Wasn't ready when it came out.
But I've always said I love the line, I'm getting tired even for a phoenix, always rising from the ashes, mending all her gashes. You might have just dealt the final blow. She's tired of having to be strong, you know, of having to get over relationship after relationship and go through heartbreak after heartbreak, of having to resurrect over and over. But this time, maybe she can't actually recover. That's kind of what I felt like. You might have just dealt the final blow. Maybe I won't resurrect this time. And I sent you signals and bit my nails down to the quick, too. I love that, too, because it's like she's trying to tell him. Like, she's sending him so many signs. Kind of like Exile, too. Like, I gave you so many signs, but you're not reading them. You're just ignorant, and you're not getting it. And I've been there before, too. There was this thing going around TikTok. It may not be, like, actually gender-based, but a lot of people say that women take a long time to actually leave, and so they're, like, slowly leaving the relationship in their mind before they actually leave. And I can relate to that a lot because that's how I usually am. Like, it takes a lot for me to actually walk away from something.
I did see that, like, women grieve the loss of the relationship before they actually leave, and that's why when you see a breakup, the woman glows up so quickly and the man is, like, falling apart because they were caught off guard, but really we try to tell them what was wrong and they just didn't listen. But
and so that's kind of what this song feels like to me. But like the last straw, I've been trying to tell you, I've been trying to show you, and like the air is thick with loss and indecision, grieving the relationship, yet still indecisive about actually pulling the trigger and walking away. Ugh, that song hits.
Okay,
all right.
I don't really have anything to say about the
Snow on
more
the Beach,
Lana version.
I was gonna say we could kind of skip the remixes. We can talk about them on
I just have one note on the Karma with Ice Spice, because she has Karma is the fire in your house. Some people think maybe the lover house burning.
I have one note on the Karma Ice Spice. I hate it, and I've never been able to listen to like more than one line of Ice Spice's verse, and then I turn it off because I can't do it. I've never listened to the full version, and I might get hate, but I can't. I don't know what it is. It just makes me want to throw up. I can't. I listen to Ice Spice say 2 words, and I'm like, no, I can't. I tried to listen to it this episode, and I can't do it. I don't know why.
I don't really like it either, but I still listen to it for this episode.
I just couldn't do it. I'm sorry. It's just, I don't enjoy it. Ice Spice seems like a great girl. Nobody come for me, please.
It's not your style. That's fine.
No.
Favorite music video?
So I've seen two of them. I've seen Anti-Hero and Bejeweled, and I can't decide between them. They're both great. I love both of them a lot.
I think mine's Anti-Hero just because I really relate to it.
Yeah, I might lean towards that too.
I've only seen Bejeweled, so I'm just gonna have to
Bejeweled.
go.
Favorite songs.
I can only narrow down to like a top 5 in no particular order.
Okay, I did them in categories because I have 3 for the main album and then I have 4 bonus. So from the main album, I have Vigilante Shit, You're on Your Own Kid, and Bejeweled are my top 3. Although Karma is really close up there too.
So within the first 13?
For a long time though, Vigilante Shit was my number 1 because I really, really love it. But it's so close with You're on Your Own Kid, Bejeweled, and Karma.
Okay, I have 3 for the first 13. And I feel like you're gonna be Midnight Rain, Question, and Dear Reader.
What? Oh my god! Wait, no, Dear Reader isn't on there. It's a bonus.
Oh, okay. So, Question and Midnight Rain. Those are my top favorites in the first 13.
What about you, Jess?
And Maroon.
You're on Your Own Kid.
Okay, what about the bonus? You all know mine. You're Losing Me, and then Would've, Could've, Should've is really close.
I think Dear Reader for me.
Once again, I'm outnumbered.
Okay, so for bonuses, you're counting everything after.
Everything else, yeah.
From the bonuses, Paris, High Infidelity, Would've, Could've, Should've, Dear Reader.
You're listing all of them.
You can't make. Dear Reader's definitely. Oh, and You're Losing Me. Fuck, I almost forgot about that one.
I was like, how dare you? No.
Between those ones, my top 2 would be Dear Reader and You're Losing Me. And Would've, Could've, Should've is like really close. Third, second.
Least favorite song?
My least favorite song on the main album, You're Gonna Not Like Me, Rubee. Maroon, yeah.
Really?
I still like it, but I skip it a lot. It just doesn't pull me in. What about you, Jess?
Sweet Nothing is my least favorite on the main.
It's up there for me, too.
Sweet Nothing for me. And if we're doing bonuses, in case it wasn't obvious, Karma featuring.
Well, I didn't count that.
That's
I
my
didn't count
least
that, or
favorite
else it
general.
would have been that. Yeah, I guess that's my least favorite, too. My other least favorite, though, would be Dear Reader. But
Tisk, Meggles.
All right, favorite lyrics? Oh, God. I don't have this picked out. Oh, no. I've said a lot of them already.
Yeah, I kind of just said them throughout. Basically, my answer was just the entirety of Dear Reader and the entirety of You're Losing Me, and those were my that was my answer for favorite lyrics.
The entirety of Bejeweled.
I can't narrow down anymore, so.
The entirety of Bejeweled and the entirety of Vigilante Shit and the entirety of Mastermind and
Oh yeah, Vigilante has some really good ones too. And I really like the In the Shoes I Gave You as a Present.
Oh, and then Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda, and You're Losing Me. Oh my gosh. So many good lyrics in this. What about you, Jess? Anything that stands out?
I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. I've talked about it with Archer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's the next favorite variant?
It is Moonstone Blue, Jade Green, Blood Moon, Mahogany, Lavender, Love Potion, Purple Marbled are the variant colors.
Jade Green would be my favorite color variant.
Jade Green's my favorite color variant too.
I went crazy looking for Moonstone Blue, and I finally found it.
Okay, what's next?
What color is it?
The album?
Yeah, dark blue.
Like navy, dark blue, yeah.
Yeah, dark blue. And then finally, what season is this album? I kind of picture it like a fall into winter.
That's
I was
what
literally about to say the same thing. Like a fall transition to winter.
Mm-hmm.
That was exactly what I was going to say.
Exactly. Yay. We're all agreed on that. Okay. All right. That was Midnight.
Oh no, I don't need to shuffle because we know what the next one we're doing is.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but we could shuffle for the one
time, yeah.
After. Yes, our next episode will be about tortured poets. Our next few, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fearless.
Fearless. Wow.
I have a lot
Specifically, the song was...
we're going backward. We did Speak Now, and then we're going to do Fearless, which is before Speak Now.
The song it picked was That's When.
I don't know that song very well. So, next week we will be talking about the Tortured Poets Department leading up to the release. Exciting.
And then the next one after that will be about the release
Yeah.
of the Tortured Poets Department and what we think about all the songs.
Yep. And then probably the week after that will be after processing a while and coming back to it. So
yeah, and doing like a further deep dive once we have all the lyrics and stuff up.
Yep, so we'll be looking forward to a lot of Tortured Poets Department content. Yeah. Oh, I also do want to say real quick, we have a YouTube channel now. So go subscribe. It's just Talking Swift.
Join our Discord. We have lots of fun things on there. You can follow along with our guides on all of our episodes if you want to see what we're talking about visually. We always post all the links and sources that we talk about. You can also pick your favorite album, and then your color will display on your name with your favorite album. It gives a great talking point for everyone else in the Discord. You can share all of your Eras Tour media content. If you went, you can share all of that in a different channel. You can clown, talk about all of your fellow Swiftie love, Taylor, all things Taylor. It's a lot of fun. Bye.
Come back next week and thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.